Tonight on I Like to Watch, Utica has a psychic cow moment. The queens are making each other over. Which groups are gonna succeed and which will fail? Let's find out. Going into tonight's episode, it was clear that the fans only had one thing on their minds. They wanted an elimination and they wanted one now. Episode 10, let's go, OMG! The dramatic violin music when the queens re-enter the workroom after an elimination. A song most pleasing to me. Drag Race Season 13 started on January 7th, 2021. It is now March 12th, 2021, and we still have 8 queens left. Rupaul is testing my patience. When the queens got backstage after the elimination, Simone was explaining once again the passion of her drag, and the fans online, of course, were living. Simone is eating this show up. Just crown Simone already. Simone is the only answer.
They eat her up every single time.
The queens headed to the main stage to see a psychic who was discussing their innermost truths. And so we found out that Utica's fairy godmother is a cow.
Stunning.
Ma'am, there's a cow in the room? A cow would show up for Utica. Clara the Cow, Drag Race, #moo. So the challenge this week was going to be makeovers, and their job was to make over each other in groups to see who really could transform their queen into themselves. Once they were divided into groups and once it went to commercial break, the fans were online suspecting who was going to do good and who was going to do bad. Rosé in Tina's makeup is going to be something interesting to see. To be honest, all the pairings made sense in the dynamic of the season besides Utica and Simone, but I feel like they're talented enough to find a middle ground stylistically. So, if one contestant looks good and her partner looks bad, is she lip syncing or the partner? Backstage when the queens were working on their concepts, fans were deeply concerned about Utica and Simone's pairing, and they specifically thought that Utica was gonna sink Simone. Oh my god, what is Utica trying to do to Simone? Me watching Simone and Utica partnering. That medium was shady, putting Utica and Simone together. Despite all the drama and chaos that was going on, the fans were expressing that this episode in particular was the entertainment that they've been looking for. Okay, I love this episode though. This episode is so good. I really think this is one of the best episodes this season. And then we got to the runway. First up was Tina Burner and Rosé, and I will say that Rosé looked a whole lot like Tina Burner. She looked campy, she looked red. It did have a surprise twist and it had a reveal, so there is that, so there was something to this outfit, and so I will say it was a very good rendition of Tina Burner. Now when Tina came out as Rosé, the outfit was immediately, honestly this is probably the best Rosé outfit, and it doesn't have too much of that padding and fluffing going up on the sides and the shoulders and stuff. Like I wish Rosé would have saved this one for herself. She should have, if she was really going to do like a mock impression of herself, she should have put the extra ruffle shit on Tina, and it would have kind of been a campy and funny thing. Anyways, this team, I will say they did a good job. Then we had Olivia coming out as Denali, and so basically Denali dressed her up in her first appearance look, her entrance room look, and so like you could tell it was her, and like we've been seeing this outfit over and over again in the memes, and so that was very clever, and I'm sure the judges also really remember that first impression realness, and so I really thought that Olivia, like the drag, looked like Denali. The one problem I had is, like they mentioned, the makeup. I don't know if it was Denali's makeup, but we really don't know Denali for the makeup, so. And then Denali comes out as Olivia, allegedly. But this really, it didn't look like Olivia at all. It didn't look like Denali. It didn't look like nobody. Up next, we had Simone dressed up as Utica, and it was this crazy forest creature look, except it was working and Simone was selling it. They were really getting each other's aesthetic in the process of putting this together, and so she was just killing it and slaying it. This outfit, you immediately know who it belongs to, obviously Utica, so this was definitely a successful moment. And then Utica comes out, and honestly, this makeup, this posture, this look is the best I've ever seen of Utica ever. Like, I kind of want her to do this more often. Like, switch up your makeup. Don't always do comedy, because girl, she could be matching, you know, with Miss Fame up in here. She could be, you know, matching Gigi Good up in here. She really, like, Simone really busted something out with this. And then Gottmik comes out doing Candy Muse, and so they had all the mannerisms right. She was doing all the right stuff to be like Candy. I didn't necessarily get Candy Muse from this look, however, the look was fucking fierce. And so whatever you have to say about it, Candy done up her real good. And then Candy Muse comes out looking like the perfect representation of Gottmik. Like, it wasn't like a costume of Gottmik. It's really like if Gottmik was in Candy Muse's body and put something together. Like, this was fabulous. You could tell exactly who it belonged to. I'm gonna end this episode with the ultimate shade when Michelle and Karsten were going back and forth about the past judges. Bring back my Merles. Careful, Santino. Oop. Careful, Santino. Yahtzee. Michelle to Carson. Careful, Santino.
And
All right, everybody, that is my episode this week. I'm so glad you guys were here to join me again. I will see you guys next time for more drag, more fun, and more happiness.